mass shootings are because why?
Because we have the Second Amendment that allows us to have guns. A lot of countries don't have the power to get guns as easily as we can, and that's the reason, because there's more
So
guns.
the mass shootings are because of...
More guns, more people, and if you have more guns, more people, more crazy people that have guns, stuff happens.
Yes, I think that Trump supporter nailed it. The problem is we have too many guns in this country. Finally, a moment of truth from a Trump supporter. It's incredible to see it. And what is this Trump supporter's solution? Take a listen to this.
More guns, more people, and if you have more guns, more people, more crazy people that have guns, stuff happens. I wouldn't blame the gun. You got to blame.
But you're kind of, that's the reason for more gun control, is that more guns, more crazy people, more bad things happen.
I mean, when a crazy person with a gun comes in, how do you take them out? Another gun.
So your answer to the gun issue would be more guns, more people carrying guns.
Say what? So the problem is too many guns, and the solution is more guns? Because the only way to take people out is with more guns? No. Law enforcement's always going to have guns. Regular people who are of sound mind will always be allowed to own a gun for self-defense. What we're talking about is weapons of war. Weapons of war also that then are gained access to by children. We could do something to address these problems. We might not need AR-15s everywhere in society. That's what we're talking about. Eventually, somebody is going to have a serious sit-down with the right about this. With the right about the only way to stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun talking point. It's nothing more than a sales pitch coined by the NRA's Wayne LaPierre to sell more guns. I'm Ben Glebe for Rebel HQ. You can subscribe to my podcast Last Week on Earth for lots more. But let's first dive much deeper into this issue. It's crazy and illogical to say that the only way to stop somebody with a gun is more guns, because nearly no shootings are stopped by regular citizens with guns. Law enforcement comes and eventually takes them out, or even, like in Uvalde, what tragically happened, they don't take them out in any sort of reasonable amount of time. Even people who are in law enforcement, who are trained, whose oath is to protect the citizenry, don't know how to use their guns in a way that can take out one person with a gun when there's a whole team of people. But a regular person with a gun is supposed to, a teacher with a gun is supposed to. Are you out of your damn mind? We just had a horrible, senseless school shooting by a student in Georgia of his fellow classmates and teachers, 4 people killed, so many injured. And instead of addressing the problem, the only country that has this happen, The Onion always posts their satirical post about it every time. There's nothing we can do about this, says only nation where it consistently happens. We once again are forced to watch Republican politicians and gun lobbyists spout their thoughts and prayers BS. Thoughts and prayers. Who's being saved by these prayers? If the prayers, as somebody tweeted, if the prayers don't stop the shootings, then what are the prayers for? As somebody else tweeted in response to Marjorie Taylor Greene's insane post, she posted this, by the way. Please join me in prayer for all the students, staff, and families at Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia. There's been a school shooting and reports of multiple injuries. A man named Ryan Sheed responded, meanwhile, you're a gun-loving cultist who has the power to address our children being murdered while attending school and choose not to. Save your fake prayers. Yeah, also, how about if you're going to tweet for people to join you in prayer, you have to be a religious leader. If her main course of action to help people's lives is to make them pray, you should be a preacher, a priest. You should be a minister. You shouldn't be a legislator, because your job is to pass laws to help people. So you're literally, when you tweet that, just saying, I'm not going to do anything, but do a thing that's magical and that has no burden of proof and no track record. As somebody else tweeted, I have no problem with folks showing their support with prayers. I just wonder when folks like Marge are going to do something to address the problem here on earth. Seems like God wants man to take responsibility for his own well-being. Let's add some solutions with the prayers. I mean, it's a great point. You can believe in God. It's got nothing to do with praying after a bad thing happens, but you have to also take action. It's very obvious if God exists in the way that religious people believe it to be so, then God doesn't have an interest in stopping school shootings, and he wants the people to do it. So it's a brilliant question. What are you praying for? As John Pavlovitz brilliantly and very effectively and powerfully tweeted, "Hey Marjorie Taylor Greene, how do you type with so much blood on your hands?" Ouch. That probably would hurt if she had a soul or feelings or a heart of any kind. She doesn't, but it probably would hurt if she did. Instead, just a handful of days before the shooting, she reposted this actual ad of hers where she's actually giving away a high-powered rifle and shoots and explodes a car that says socialism on it. This is a real human being in our Congress. Take a look.
Now I'm doing a gun giveaway of my own, but for Americans only. I want you to win this .50 caliber rifle that Democrats will ban if they keep the House next year.
How about give away school supplies? How about give away backpacks, notebooks, pencils? How about give a donation to the school that you seem to pretend to care about? A school with your constituents, your state, who suffered a terrible loss. How about send flowers? Don't give away a gun, perhaps. At least we have one of our former presidents who's really speaking up about the issue. Here's Trump really taking on gun reform very seriously, just the other day.
Can you imagine you're a parent and your son leaves the house and you say, "Jimmy, I love you so much. Go have a good day in school." And your son comes back with a brutal operation.
That was Trump talking about the very real gun problem in America. What's that? Oh, I'm being told that was actually him commenting about the completely made-up issue of kids getting sex change operations at their schools, which has never happened once. Also, you might have noticed it was kind of hard to see Trump in that clip because he was literally standing behind bulletproof glass because one of his Second Amendment good guys with a gun tried to shoot him just very recently. His running mate also just came out and said that school shootings are a fact of life. We just have to deal with school shootings now, I guess, because J.D. Vance says so. What a way to run for office to try to help the country. We can't do anything about it. It's a fact of life, so put us in office, please, because we want power and money. Thank you so much. Also, by the way, he was behind bulletproof glass in case one of those good guys shows up. I'm Ben Glebe for Rebel HQ. You can subscribe to my podcast, Last Week on Earth, for lots more.